So 202 starts. Angastam Brahmam Utangayantam Premanandam Daruko Nabhayanandat Kamsharetare Vigyane Yena Sakshat Akshodiyan Antarayo Vyadhyaye. Translation: Sri Daruka did not relish his ecstatic feelings of love, for they caused his limbs to become stunned and thus obstructed his service of fanning Lord Krishna. Purport: this verse is from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.62. Verse number 203. Govinda pare Shanakshepi Baspa Purbi Varshinam Uchare Anandam Arvinda Vilochana. Translation: the lotus-eyed Radharani powerfully condemned the ecstatic love that caused a flow of tears that hindered her sight of Govinda. This verse is from, again, from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.3.54. Verse number 2.4. Ara Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Prema Seva Vina Swasukharta Salokyadi Nakare Grahana. Translation: furthermore, pure devotees never forsake the loving service of Lord Krishna to aspire for their own personal pleasure through the five kinds of liberation. A pure devotee of Krishna who loves him exclusively will flatly refuse to accept any sort of liberation, beginning from merging with the body of the Lord and extending to the other varieties of liberation, such as equality of form, opulence or abode, and the opulence of living near the Lord. What's number 205? Madguna Shrutri Matrena Mai Sarva Guhasya Mano Gatir Avichinna Yatha Ganga Ambhasho Ambudhau. Translation: just as the celestial waters of the Ganges flow unobstructed into the ocean, so when my devotees simply hear of me, their minds come to me who reside in the hearts of all. So the previous verse and this verse and the next verse is coming from Shrimad Bhagavatam. Lord Kapila Devi speaking from chapter number 29. It's 11, 12, and 13. So it's 206 now. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya he udartam ehutiki avyavahita ya bhakti purishottame. Translation: these are the characteristics of transcendental loving service to Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way. This is the last word. Salokya shrishti sarupya samipaya katvam api utta diyamanam nagrahananti vina matsevana jana. Translation: my devotees do not accept Salokya, Shrishti, Sarupya, Samipya, or oneness with me. Even I offer these liberations in preference to serve me. Purport: these three verses from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29, 11, 12, and 13 were spoken by Lord Krishna in the form of Kapila Dev. Okay, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपिशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चाति देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. This Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a postgraduate study. Srila Prabhupada many times says Bhagavad Gita is their introduction, Srimad Bhagavatam is a graduation, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a post-graduation study. So in this particular set of verses, what we are seeing here, or before that, if we see here, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he's talking about in this particular set of verses about the pure devotion, and he gave the example of the gopis, how the gopis stands the topmost pure Vaishnavas or Vaishnavis, in the line of serving Lord Shri Krishna. But among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost, because whenever gopis see Lord Krishna, they become beautiful. I mean, their beauty enhances. And when Lord Krishna says that gopis are becoming beautiful by seeing him, Krishna becomes even more beautiful. So there is always a competition, as we have just read in the previous few shlokas, you know, and it's talking about the pure devotional service, that how this service renders on a very different level, and this is not access to a neophyte person like us. It takes a lot of time to understand what does a pure devotional service mean. A lot of people have misunderstanding about the pure devotional service. But here, what we are reading, our today's set of verses, which is 202 to 207, it's talking about giving two great examples. One example is giving about Daruka. You know, he says that Daruka did not relish his ecstatic feelings of love, because what has happened, that one time Daruka, he was fanning Lord Shri Krishna in Dwarka, and suddenly out of ecstasy, that his hand got stunned. He could not move he could not do his service. So he became so angry, because it was natural for him, because he's a pure devotee of the Lord. It was natural for him to come into that bhava, that spiritual ecstasy, and it was coming naturally for him. But as soon as he gets that natural ecstasy, his service is hinders. He cannot perform his service to the Lord. So what he does, he curses his own hand. He says, if you don't come to the senses, I will curse you that you fall off from my body. I mean, you can see the next level. I mean, who can understand this type of feeling? And same as in the next shloka, which is 203, Srimati Radharani also condemning her own ecstatic love. Because as soon as she thinks about the Lord, or she sees the Lord, or something happen, she shed tears for the Supreme Personality of God. So as soon as the tear comes into her eyes, her vision goes blur. She cannot see Govinda clearly with her two eyes, beautiful eyes. And what she said, she condemns, that ecstasy. What's the point of this ecstasy, that I cannot see Lord Govinda? I mean, for a new person, this is very, very difficult to understand, that what kind of bhava or what kind of scene is going on among the devotee. And this scene is called the pure devotional service. It is only just for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the devotee don't care about their own bhava. Bhava is very high platform. Prema is very high platform there. You know, Sometime when a new person, when he does any kind of a service, or out of immaturity, they start showing some kind of a false symptoms to the society, so they may be recognized. So what is happening, ki people, you see, I am feeling all those kind of pure devotional symptoms or ecstasy in my body. So we just want to show to the world, taking the photo, putting on Facebook and here and there, showing our tears. I'm just, Lord, I'm crying for you. Only you know. So let the whole world also know. But here they are on such a high platform, they are condemning their own ecstatic love. I mean, it says that when the pleasure of love interferes with the service of Lord Krishna, the devotee becomes angry towards such ecstasy. And this has been showed by these two great examples, Daruka and Srimati Radharani. I mean, it was natural for them to feel all those things, but they were not happy with that feeling because the service is hampering. They are not able to perform the service to the Lord. That's why, if you see Srila Prabhupada, when he was writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, then he mentions it is just bhakti is just not a devotion. It's called devotional service. It is called a devotional service because when the service involved means some action has to be there. So how this action has to be there, it's been said here कि the way the Ganges water flow, without any hindrance, or no one can stop the flow of the Ganges to go and meet into the ocean. Similarly, a pure devotee's attraction for the transcendental name, form, quality, pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is none other than Lord Shri Krishna, are being uh, cannot be stopped by any material condition. I mean, no matter whatever happens in their life, whether they are in a good situation or whether they are in a bad situation, in any of the situation, they want to perform their service without any hindrance. Okay, and in this set of verses, what we just read today, it's talking about the characteristics. What are the really characteristics of a pure devotional service? That we get the information in Nectar of Devotion in chapter 1, where Srila Prabhupada writes, and it is a commentary of Rupa Goswami. He mentions what are the real characteristics of a pure devotional service. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma adi anavritam anukulena krishna anushilana bhaktir uchyate. Means ki these are the first of all anya abhilashita. When we talk about, let's talk about what is pure. Pure means like shuddh, which has not which has not to be mixed with any other thing, or it should not be unadulterated with anything like a milk. We always look for 100% pure milk. If that milk is even mixed with a 1 cup of water, it's not pure. Even it's mixed with half cup of water, still it's not pure. Even if it's mixed with 1 spoon, not pure. Half spoon of water, not pure. Even the 1 drop of water or a half drop of water, still it's not pure. It should be 100% pure. That's what we do. That's why Lord Krishna wants 100% attention. He doesn't want 99%, 99.9 even, he doesn't accept. He wants 100% attention. Like sometime when we are practicing, so due to our family pressure, or maybe it's a custom of the family, tradition of the family, no doubt we are being initiated in the movement and we know what is the truth, who is absolute truth. But just out of fear in the society, we sometimes go to our family tradition custom, which is maybe or may not be okay. Because if you have to have a peaceful environment at home, sometimes we say to the people, okay, Prabhuji, Mataji, you can do for the pleasure of your, friends, or for the pleasure of your, grandpa or father or somebody, to have a peaceful life or a peaceful environment in the family. But internally, we should meditate. This is not really what I meant to do. My 100% attention, my 100% bhakti, it has to be pointed toward Lord Shri Krishna. Okay, if it's not pointed towards Lord Shri Krishna, what will happen? It's been said in 2.41, Vyavasatmika buddhir ekeha karunandana bahushaka he anantascha buddhyo vyavasayinama. Because one pointed attention, one pointed, means that our attention, it should not be flinch here and there. It's called ekatva bhakti. Ekalya bhakti. Ekalya means only. Bhakti word only been reserved or only been meant for Lord Shri Krishna, not for anybody else. Bhakti has a very high definition. I mean, it's a very prominent meaning, and it's been only been reserved for Lord Shri Krishna to perform only for him. For other, we say something else. But for here, for the Lord, no, it's Ekalya means only bhakti to Lord Shri Krishna, not to anybody else. I have seen, in over the period of time in 16 year, 20 years, people they do bhakti, they do chant, Lord's holy name, they are being initiated, but as soon as any problem comes in their family life, they start taking the shelter of other processes, other demigods, such as Maha Mrityunjay mantra, and many others are there. I just asked the person, I said, Prabhu, why are you doing? You've been initiated for so many years, and still, instead of having faith on Lord Shri Krishna, you are worshipping some other demigods, but that is not nice. He says, Prabhu, I'm going through with a tough time. So just to get this tough time away, I am worshipping this particular demigod. I says, what do you think if this particular demigod can take away all your problem? So that means Krishna cannot do so? Even though these demigods are taking their power from Lord Shri Krishna, which Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita. He says that all these demigods, they are taking their benediction, their power to give ahead. They are asking me. So I am giving them, so they are giving ahead. So I say, ki, whatever you need to do, you need to perform all the way 100% surrender to Lord Shri Krishna. If others can do, why not Krishna cannot do it? He is checking your faith, your surrender, your devotion towards Him. That's how it's been called pure devotional service. When everything is going good, when your time is good, then yes, Krishna is mine. But as soon as anything happens, no, I'm going to take the shelter of somebody else. That is not nice. That means ki we have lack of faith in Lord Shri Krishna. That is really, really not, will make affirmed our feet in the path of devotional service. That means ki our faith is not strong. So that's why we need to take the shelter of all these Vedic scriptures where it shows, what is actually a pure devotional service. It should not be at anya abhilashita shunyam. Whatever material desire we have, it should has to go away. I don't want anything, no matter in whichever situation I am, or whichever situation I'm going through due to my past previous deed, or what will happen me in the future. In any situation, I will not let my spiritual life go down, or I will not let my faith, my love, my surrender go down towards my Lord Shri Krishna. Because Krishna he tests us ki, oh, you says you really love me when you have everything. I said, yes, my Lord, I love you. But when you don't have anything, still you love me. That's why this test comes over the period of time. So it says ki without any tinge of material desires. And the word here is been mentioned avichana, without interpretation, is very important in this connection, because no material condition can stop the flow of devotional service of a pure devotee. You can see the example in our life, Srila Prabhupada and all his followers. Srila Prabhupada has to go through many problems throughout his whole life. When he was householder, problem was there. When he became a sannyasi, problem was there. When he came to America, problem was there. Everywhere problem was there. But he never ever complained to Lord Shri Krishna at all, ki, why you are doing this to me? I'm not happy with you. Arjuna, Pandava, same problem. They went through so many problems. Nobody put a single finger towards Lord Shri Krishna that just cause of you everything. I'm chanting your name. I have trust on you. Why this is happening to me? Krishna put his pure devotee in this situation to set an example for the future upcoming devotee what is actually pure devotional means. Because by taking those examples of our previous acharya, mahajans, devotees, we can also follow their footstep. That's why it's been a satovriti. In nectar of instruction, it's a satovriti by following the footstep of previous acharyas. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they have gone through so many hard times, but their faith was not going down. Every single situation, they were increasing their love, their faith more and more and more and more, higher and higher towards Lord Shri Krishna. That's what we all have to do. That's what we all have to do. A pure devotee does not render loving service to the personality of Godhead for any cause or for any benefit, or either material or spiritual. So we need to be very, very mindful. Anya abhilasha and gyan karma adi anavritam. So that devotion should be free from jnana, which is like a mental speculation, and karma kanda. If I am doing something for you, I need something in return. We are not supposed to do all these things. We have to be free. We can see in the case of gopis, in the case of Radharani, in the case of Srila Prabhupada, in the case of all the great Vaishnavas are there who are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Whatever they were only doing for the pleasure of Lord. And in return, they were not asking any single things. They are saying, I am happy in my service. And here in the furthermore it was mentioning about ki even the Vaishnava, they don't even ask the liberation. And what kind of, here they were saying there are five type of liberations are there. What are those here? The person who just want to be nearby, salokya. Lokya means planet. you know a devotee doesn't even care whether he's going to be live on the same planet. Shrashti means having the same opulence, doesn't even care. I'm going to be a rich or a poor or whatever. Samipya doesn't want to be too close to the Lord. Sarupya. Sarupya means having the same bodily feature. And the most important was there, ekatvam. Ekatvam is like committing a suicide. In any case, may some devotee, by being individual by their nature, they may accept the other four. But ekatvam, merging with the Lord, they think as a committing suicide. They think this is like a hellish thing. They don't even accept at any cost. Even though they don't even accept anything, other things also. But what they accept, they just only accept, my dear Lord, no matter whether you are taking me back to Godhead, whether you want to keep me here on the earthly planet, whether you want to send me to hellish planet, whether you want to send me to heavenly planet, wherever you want me to send, it's up to you, because you are fully independent. You can do whatever you want because I am your servant. Okay, but do one thing, always bless me with your service and with the association of your pure devotees, because wherever I go, I always hanker for the service. And if you see in Srila Prabhupada teaching here, Prabhupada always in out of ecstasy, he has also been blessed. I said, I don't know whether I want to go or not. All I want ki wherever I go, I just want to preach. I just want to do service to him. That is what it is. 20 a Vaishnava, he always look to serve the Lord 24 hours. There is a word here being used, avahita means without cessation. It means a pure devotee must engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours. He is always thinking, whether he is awakened, he thinks about the Lord. Whether he sleeps, he still thinks about the Lord. His life is so molded that every minute and every second he engages in some sort of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. We can see in the life of our Srila Prabhupada, in the morning he's completely preaching. He's just traveling, giving lectures, meeting, this person, that person, chanting his round, trying to fix the problems, because he was going to establish the movement. So many things are there. And in the night, he's just writing literatures. I mean, you can think yourself to write a book. Prabhuji, Mataji, we need a very peaceful mind. After having so many problems throughout the whole day, you need to handle, you need to tackle, you know with the problem with this problem, with this temple problem, with this, Vaishnavas, they are fighting with each other, money problem, preaching problem, this problem, that problem. And after that, when you go and write and sit and write books, how much your mind need a peaceful environment. And Prabhupada was above this material world. He set up the great example because it is not an ordinary writing. He is writing about Lord Shri Krishna and they are transcendental literature. You know, above the three modes of material nature. If we have been gone through any tough time throughout the whole day, we've been upset a week or a month. What to speak about, writing a books. We can't even chant our rounds. Writing a books is a great task. That's what Srila Prabhupada has did it. you know he was he was 24 hours engaged, and whoever followed Srila Prabhupada during that time, or still, you can see all those great personalities. They are 24 hours engaged in the service of the Lord. They get up early in the morning, they finish their round, and throughout the whole day they are doing service, whole day, whole day, whole day. And in the night when they go to sleep, all they can dream about Lord Shri Krishna. You can see that is called pure devotional service. They are not thinking about what will happen to their body, whether they're gonna eat or not, where they're going to sleep or not. You can see, when Srila Prabhupada was going to establish the Juhu temple, on the words of their dear spiritual master, all the devotees, especially Americans, they moved to Juhu temple and they lived in such an austere life there just to establish a temple. Now, when we go out there, we have a very beautiful AC room. Everything is established over there. But these Vaishnavis, on the words of their spiritual master, they live such an austere life. In the night, when they are going to sleep, the rat comes and they bite them. Mosquito comes, they bite them. Dacoits come, they just want to threat them. Throughout their whole life, they just, going to do some books, going to meet some people so they can give some donation to help to construct the temple. And in the night when they come, they cook for themselves, and now they have to face other austere things. But by their blessings, we all got these beautiful temples all around the world. So we need to take the examples to learn from that how much hard work they have gone through to give us a beautiful life. Whatever we are enjoying in our life nowadays, okay, it is all by the hard work of Srila Prabhupada and his great disciples. They have set up everything for us. When I entered into this moment, for me, temple was there, deities were there, prasadams were there, books were there, everything was whole setup. All I have to do, I have to just grab it and imply in my life and help others. But we all are struggling at some point of our life. No, we need to do it. Or is another meaning of Avavahada here, mean is ki the interest of the devotee and the interest of the Supreme Lord are on the same level. That is also the another meaning. That's why I say Vyavasatmika Buddhi Eke Hakuru Nandana. Lord's desire and his devotees' desires are always one, because they both want to preach, they want to give the same message to the world, that please go back to Godhead, please read these books, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For that reason, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came and he is by his own personal example. Okay, he taught how to execute a devotional service out of spontaneous love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He didn't write anything. Whatever teaching he gave to his primary two great disciples, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. But he gave a 8 shloka of Shikshashtam. And in that one, his prayer is there, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagad isha kame, mama janmani janmaneshware, bhavtar bhakti ahit ki tvai. Oh my Lord, I don't want, na dhanam, I don't want any wealth. Na janam, I don't want any aristocrat, birth in any of the family. Na sundarim, I don't want any beautiful wife or husband. Okay, na kavitam va jagad ishakame, I don't want any followers also. I don't want anything. So Lord may ask, then what do you want? Mama janmani janmane bhakti. I want by birth after birth the pure devotional service at your lotus feet, my Lord. I want a pure devotional service. That's what we need to hanker for. I know we are not pure, we are struggling. Somebody is asking for a wife, somebody is asking for husband, somebody asking for another job, somebody is asking for, daughter-in-law for their son, son-in-law for their daughter. Many other unlimited things are there. It's never ending, one after another, one after another, one after another. I don't know when we gonna stop our shopping list. Somewhere we need to stop it and ask only for one prayer. My Lord, kindly bless me, give me intelligence, so I only the day, at least one day, I have been here for 16 years in the movement. Every single day I wake up, I come front of you. Only I ask, please you fulfill my desire. Is there any way one day I wake up, my dear Lord, that I come front of you and I say, my dear Lord, let me serve you today without any my own material desire, at least for today. I don't think so. I have ever asked for that. Still, I have so many. I'm pretty much sure all of us are struggling, for this thing. If this pure devotion is not there, so where is the question then we are planning to go back to Godhead? Madgata Shrutri Matrena. Prabhupada writes here, what does it mean, Madgata Shrutri Matrena? Just after hearing about the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Godhead, my devotees, they start doing pure devotional service. And this devotional service, it's beyond the three modes of material nature. Somewhere we have to start. At least we cannot do it practically, but at least in back of our mind, we should pray to the Lord, my dear, and we should cry and we should ashamed ourselves. Ki when, which day, okay, which day and when I'm gonna start, doing pure service to the Lord, where I will not ask anything else to my Lord. And whatever I will do, I want to completely surrender to the Lord here. When a person does, when a pure Vaishnava does this type of services, it sets an example for the future people, because by their purity, they attracts others also. They helps they helps others also. During that time, maybe other people will not appreciate, but much year later when they become matured in their bhakti, they will appreciate our example. You can see during the lifetime of Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada was doing everything, and other people though were around him, they were not appreciating him because they were all immature, like a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, just in the movement. They were just growing by the association of Srila Prabhupada. That time they didn't appreciate, but when they become matured after 30 years, 40 years, every single moment whatever they spent with Srila Prabhupada, they were memorizing everything, they were remembering every single incident. Oh my God, Srila Prabhupada, he was teaching me how to do a pure devotional service, but in that time I was so immature, I was not doing it. That's why, we need to take the lessons from all these pastimes, and living examples are there in front of us. Or if we need more thing, there are so many case studies are there in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you know and the NOD itself, it establishes, अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्य ज्ञान करना आदि अनामित अनुकूलेना Krishna anuशीलम. So whichever, whatever is favorable, only take only that much. And when you take, you may think, is it going to please my Lord Shri Krishna? Krishna Anushilanam. That my Lord will be pleased or not, whatever I'm doing. So we need to check all the times, because otherwise, if we don't check it, then ultimately all the action will be there only just to please us. Sometimes we see when we do any seva, at the end of the day, we think, Prabhuji, I was very happy to do that. I was very, very happy to do that. Of course, we feel pleasure, but let the pleasure be felt by Krishna first. Because we need to keep aside our liking and disliking, even though if we don't like it, if you don't like to go out to do books, if you don't like to, go and cook for the Lord, if you don't like to come and dress the Lord, no, it is not our liking, it is a liking of the Lord Shri Krishna. Because when we like, or but when we dislike, in both the cases, we are the self-centered. So that we have to get out. from this type of consciousness. We are not here to become self-consciousness. We are here to become Krishna consciousness. Ki my Lord will be pleased or not. That's where we all have to think. Any action, whatever we do, we always have to think. Being someone's wife, being someone's husband, being someone's sons or a daughter or a citizen. It's not that we need to come out and show to the world what we are doing. It is your private bhakti, is your private matter. Lord Shri Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Uddhav Gita, he is informing Uddhava, that whatever, whenever you do bhakti, make sure you hide your bhakti. You never ever advertise. Otherwise, when you advertise, the fruit of that bhakti will go away. That's why whenever we do, we always hide our bhakti, our japa, our bhakti, because this is our private movement with our Lord. Only let Krishna know what you are doing, not the whole world. Otherwise, we have a tendency to become famous. Let my voice know the whole world. Let my art of giving the class know the world. Let my cooking will know the world. Let my dressing will know the world. World will anyway know. If you see in today's shloka, not today's, the previous one, when gopis see Lord Krishna, when they dress him, you know they become beautiful. And when Krishna see them, that gopis has become beautiful, by seeing them, Krishna becomes even more beautiful that time. So there is always a competition, that who will dress who in a very gorgeous way. That's what we need to do. If we do anything, let Krishna smile, let him be pleased by our service, not we have to be pleased. Of course, we are the secondary one. We will be satisfied, by doing that, and we will feel peace. But it will only become when Krishna will be pleased by our service. Otherwise, we can just go on life after life, year after year, days after days, will be the same person, because we haven't get out of the mentality to enjoy our own activity. No, we meant to be enjoyed by Lord Shri Krishna. Okay, thank you so much. I stop here and see if anybody has any questions or any comments on this matter. So I would like to take it further.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I don't have any questions, but very nicely explained.
Oh, Hare
The
Krishna.
way you give the message, very nicely explained. Thank you so much.
Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, it's a really nice session. Uh,
Ramakrishna
what I like
Prabhu.
is heartfully doing service to Krishna without expecting any return. It is a great point, but practically, is it possible? How trying to learn from you, Prabhu. So,
Yeah, Prabhu, I'm also in the queue. We are also trying to learn from each other. I mean, I'm also thinking, when will the day will come when I will come only just for the pleasure of the Lord to the temple, not for my own pleasure. So, path is very long, and it's not so easy, because we are, conditioned by our own nature. So many things are there, but slowly, if we keep going on this path with the purity, at least we need to keep in our back of our mind that we need to change ourselves. Otherwise, we will miss again this human birth. And even coming back as a Vaishnava again, it itself is a big circus. It's not so easy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu, for a great explanation. Yeah, at least maybe we can practice for 15 minutes heartful service without expecting anything. So,
Yes,
slow
Prabhu.
practice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah, it's hard to even think about being able to live up even to Srila Prabhupada's shadow because he was such a pure devotee. You know, and Krishna sent him here to spread Krishna consciousness. But I can never even comprehend doing a drop of the work that he has done. But he sets an example. And you know, I would like to be saintly like Srila Prabhupada. And I pray to Krishna for those qualities. And I remember the first time I got the courage to ask Krishna to remove my anarthas.
Yeah.
And when I shared that with a close sangha of mine, I just see everyone's jaws drop. Like, you did what? You know, when reflecting back, my life has changed considerably because of that.
So nice. Yeah.
But every day, every single day, I ask Krishna. Actually, I asked Lord Nrsimhadev, please
Yeah.
remove my anarthas. Please remove my fear and anxiety so that I can do the services that you want
Yeah.
me to do, not what
Yeah.
I want to do. You know,
Yeah.
but still, like, I have these desires to live a comfortable life, a
Yeah.
life that's stable, so that I can serve better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's what Krishna wants.
Yeah.
And so I always ask Krishna, please guide me to do the service that you want me to do. And if it's the service that I don't want to do, please be gentle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's, you have to add that caveat because I'm praying for the things that are required to go back home, back to Godhead, and I have a long, long ways to go. And I know that it's going to hurt, but I
Yeah.
know that Krishna is merciful and he can be gentle about it.
Yeah. Actually, one
He
time,
wasn't gentle with Prabhupada.
yeah, there's one example here to understand this. Like when we are going to the airport and when we are in the gate there, and as soon as we get on the board and we are on the, we are about to fly, we are just, running on a on a path there. And when we see around us, all the building looks very big to us. Yes, all the, celestial buildings, skyscraper, they look so big to us. But as we go with our plane like that, because plane goes like this in a diagonal speed, and the more we'll go higher and higher, so all this building, they start looking smaller and smaller to us. So that means that the more we'll go higher in our spiritual life every day by day, so whatever the things it means a lot or big to us around us, it will become very smaller and smaller and smaller. And the more you will go higher in your, in your journey, in your plane, you will say at one time, this all buildings, it will be disappeared in front of your eyes. So it will says that the more we go higher and higher in our bhakti journey of our bhakti, so whatever attachment we have, whatever things we think, oh, I can't leave this, this is too big for me, I don't know whether I'm gonna make it or not, they will become smaller and smaller and smaller, and one day they will be disappeared front of your eyes, and you will be right in the spiritual sky. So it is up to us whether we want to fly our spiritual aeroplane higher or just only on the constant or lower. It's up to us, because ultimately we need to fly our own aeroplane purposes all the time. Okay, we all are individual. We all learn how to get trained when we are on the plane there, down there. But when we are going up in the air, so whatever practice we have done, we need to follow all those instructions. Otherwise, in the case of emergency, there will be nobody to help us out, and then we will crash our plane. That's why we need to have our training very hard, when we are in the temple, this programs, morning program, evening program, it has to be very, very strong, because one point of our life we all going to be alone. Even though we will be among the Vaishnavas, we may ask them many questions. They will give us the answer, but ultimately whether we want to apply or not apply in our life, it will be in our hand, and that would be the real challenge in our life. So better to have a training hard now.
Thank you,
Because,
Prabhu.
yeah, it says, it's a normal thing. When I was quite young, so one of my friends, that he was in army, he was saying, in the army there is a saying, they say the more sweat will come out in the training, the less blood will come out in the war. Means if your training is good, it's been hard during your spiritual journey, and then the rest of the life becomes smoother because you know how to handle all those tricks. But if we haven't done the training properly, or we ignore our training and we don't come to our training session, then whole life become hard, and then we will bleed a lot. So that's why Prabhupada says, even the scripture says brahmacharya life is very, very important, because they are the training. And then how the person moves into, householder life, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. But he will never take the training, then he will bleed throughout the whole life. He will struggle in his spiritual things, because he was never got trained. Okay, so I think we should stop here. Sameshwar Prabhu. Are you there, or?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
I think, thank you so much, everybody, for
Thank
your
you so
kind
much. Hare
attention.
Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Are you able to
Hare
hear me?
Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
okay. Just thank you. Just wondering. Thank you, Param Brahma Prabhu. It was an excellent class. Lots of wonderful points and the importance of very attentive, focused devotion. Punya Bhilasha Shunyam. Jnana Karma Dhyanavrtam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktirutam Anukulyena. So we should all favorably execute the loving devotional service without any tinge of. That's the essence of the class today. So we should follow. And whatever the way we can put it in and imbibe in our life, that's our success. So always remember this. So thank you so much, Parabrahma Prabhu. Let's, if there is nothing else, if anybody has anything to add, any other comments, questions, concerns. Okay, thank you again, everybody. Let's conclude. Let's chant together. Vancha kalpadarupasya. Kripa sindhu bhyevacha patidanam pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Bye.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Another
Jai.
Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gauri
Jai.
Premanande.
Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.